Ladies and gentlemen, 2025 is officially coming to an end as another day is getting marked off the calendar. That is right. Ooh, I do look good in this lighting. And I had a whole script prepared, ready to tell the world how there are 3 steps we should follow in order to actually achieve success in this new year. But as expected, I'm just going to be straightforward because this is a message not only to any other young man, or rather any man in general, but to myself. And the message is going to take a little to elaborate on, but essentially, be smart about your plans. You know, as most other young men, I was very ambitious coming into 2025, and I think I hit maybe 2 or 3 goals out of the 20 that I set for myself because I wasn't smart about them, right? You know, now being an 18-year-old male, I am entering a stage of adulthood where I'm realizing just what it takes to actually reach a tangible amount of success. Because as much as I do wish goal setting was all it took to get to the goal, there's actually a whole thing involved where you actually have to build a plan and build habits and do this and that. And you know, as much as I do wish I knew that earlier, I'm glad I learned that now, but that's just something a lot of men are going through the motions of actually trying to make something of themselves. So many men nowadays, however, on the other side are just being complacent with where they are in life. So first off, I have to give my hats off to the other men, whether it be in the audience or actively pursuing their goals, to actually commend them. Sorry, I had to just have to take a moment to think about it because you really don't see that a lot. So the men that are actually putting in the hours outside of school or outside of the gym or outside these common endeavors, props to you. Even in these, I mean, anybody who's actually chasing a goal, but when it comes to New Year's resolutions, you kind of shoot for the stars, land on the moon, right? Except I didn't land anywhere near the moon. Nah. I didn't land anywhere near the moon, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. But after a lot of reading and a lot of understanding and experiencing, I'm realizing that it takes a lot more than what it says on paper for you to actually meet these goals. And, you know, as a young man, when you dream, you kind of don't have that tangible evidence. You can't go to people and prove to them that you're going to experience this. Probably asking yourself, well, why do I have to prove myself to anybody? You don't. You're right. You don't have to prove yourself to anybody. But it's hard when you don't have that kind of support, right? I mean, Alex Hormozy kind of illustrated this best when he said that you're the only person clapping for yourself in the audience, and it's one slow clap. And it does feel good to have the support of your best friends, the support of your family, and the support of people you love. But when you don't really get that, how does that make you feel? If you're like me, like a lot of other people, it kind of disappoints you. But if you're also like me, and the many other ambitious individuals here, you're going to understand that this is necessary, and that it is going to be you that believes in it for a while. Until after some time with all these New Year's resolutions, you actually make progress, and then you build this consistency. And that's something I genuinely struggled with this year, guys. I genuinely struggled with that kind of consistency. And I mean, I just know that this is the path and I just have to try because I don't want to be the what if kind of guy, you know. And something a lot of young men I feel need to hear is that as much as you do have these resolutions to better yourself, you also need to prioritize the right things. Because I think we do get caught in this loop of chasing the wrong things, the wealth, the exterior validation, outsourcing our value, all these kinds of things, and our ego. We chase a lot of things that fulfill the ego and satisfy the ego, but I think it's time young men stand up and admit we need to be valuing other things, but also working hard. That's something I myself need to be held accountable for. Because going into the new year, I'm glad I have a lot of books covered from the beginning to the end. I was such an idiot looking back in retrospect to the beginning of the year. And that's okay, because if you can't sit there and say that you were an idiot exactly a year ago compared to who you are now, then you're doing something wrong. You are doing something wrong. So, to all the ambitious young men out there who are actively pursuing that New Year's resolution and feel as though they are not working hard enough, you are not alone. Not now. Not only now. Not today. But you are never alone. Because this is always going to be active. There will always be people out there who are constantly striving, even if there's just one person in the audience. And even if they just realize how much they have to work. So, with that being said, may 2026 be your year. May it be the year that you realize the amount of hours you have to put in, the amount of weekends you have to sacrifice, and the amount of people you have to look past when searching for support, because you know you can only find it within yourself, truly. But with that being said, there are always going to be those dimes in your life early on in your early career who are just going to be there and show that support. And you always have to acknowledge those people, because what I don't want to happen, or what I hope won't happen, or I work to make sure it doesn't happen, is looking past the people that are actually there, but I didn't invest my time into those relationships, right? Because you say that a lot. We see resentment once people go to a certain level of fame or success, resenting the people in their early life when they themselves didn't invest in those relationships. So I'm not going to grow to resent anybody. And to those of you who have been with me throughout this whole year, thank you. Thank you for your support and your recognition, believing that you see something in me. And I vow not to let you down, because like I said, I don't want to be the what if kind of guy. So with that being said, we're going to go all out this year, all out with content, all out with live streams, all out with podcasts. I already have my schedule down, and now it's down to the work, because words only say so much. So it's about time I show that I can do the work necessary. So thank you for watching, and once again, may 2026 be your year. Peace out.